What's up, guys? It's Benny. We are now learning about what will become the biggest cover-up in the history of the American government. The January 6th pipe bombers' identity, mugshot, first photos, and motive have all been released, along with how the FBI was able to nab this perpetrator, and libs' heads are going to explode. This is an absolute bombshell story that will change everything. Newly released affidavit reveals how the FBI identified the J6 pipe bomber, Brian Cole. We've been asking for this. Here's how they did it. The FBI identified a checking account with 6 credit cards belonging to Cole that was used to purchase materials matching the components of the pipe bomb, including galvanized pipes from Home Depot, the exact type that the bomb was constructed from, 14 end cap black and galvanized from Home Depot, 7 9-volt battery connectors from Micro Center, 3 white kitchen timers from Walmart, 14 gauge red black electrical wire from Home Depot, steel wool from Home Depot, safety glasses, wire stripping tool, wire nuts, sandpaper, machinist file, 2 9-volt batteries from Walmart, alligator clips from Home Depot. The FBI obtained cell site records from towers within the vicinity of the RNC and DNC. It was revealed that Cole's cell phone was connected to these 2 towers 7 different times between 7 at night and 8:30 p.m. January 5th, precisely when the FBI says the pipe bombs were planted. Brian Cole is also registered to a 2017 Nissan Sentra, which was flagged by a license plate reader, South Capitol Street exit, just a mile from where was first spotted. This is demonstrable evidence and data. This is exactly what we were looking for. Show us the receipts. This is precisely what we've been asking. And now we can see who Brian Cole was. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Brian Cole. January 6th pipe bomb suspect Brian Cole, now pictured, here we go, for the first time. And oh, baby. Things are about to get bad. Wait till you learn what his family does for a profession. The suspected J6 pipe bomber been pictured for the first time after FBI agents swooped in on his $700,000 Virginia home that he shares with his mother. Brian Cole, 30, was identified Thursday by a stunning breakthrough in the investigation. The suspect has been charged with attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials, laying explosives, Democratic National Committee and RNC, which did not detonate. The affidavit released soon after Cole's arrest. Authorities described the suspect as a 5'6" man who lives at his home with his mother. Works as a bail bondsman. Remember that for the future. Hold on to your hats. Images circulated on social media showing a heavy police presence there. The arrest marks the first major breakthrough. It comes after the FBI offered a $500,000 reward. My question, of course, when it comes to, well, all of the evidence that they clearly had on the pipe bombers, why didn't they arrest him? If you had all of this evidence, this was allegedly just hidden inside of the FBI files. Why didn't they arrest him when they got all of this from 2021? All of these receipts, his license plate ping. Why wouldn't you arrest him then? We're starting to learn why Joe Biden wouldn't arrest this individual. First, obviously, doesn't really match the description of a hardcore MAGA young black guy, right? Doesn't really match the description of a hardcore, boomer Trump supporter, right? Like this is like you're already like starting to tear at the fabric of what you would assume a MAGA bomber would be, right? Some old grizzled war veteran, angry at the system. But then more importantly, we learn that this Brian Cole is very much a political extremist. Get a load of this. From the Daily Wire, accused pipe bomber Brian Cole worked to get illegal immigrants out of ICE facilities and sued Donald Trump. He sued the Department of Homeland Security. D.C. Court of Appeals ruled against him during the weeks of January 6, 2021. So he lost a lawsuit to Donald Trump in the weeks before January 6. He then hired Trayvon Martin's attorney to call on the Biden DOJ to punish anti-Black racism. So he is a race Marxist who sued Donald Trump. He's not like a Democrat. He is a far left-wing radical activist who is suing the president and taking out his rage on the president by planting pipe bombs. Here is the bail bonds company that his family runs. This is bail bonds company. Find ICE facilities, ICE inmate locator. This is help these fraud. These people are such cockroaches. They're such scum. These people exist parasitically in order to take advantage of, well, the people who are being deported. Our laws in this country say you're not allowed to be here illegally. And so they make a ton of money by people trying to, find their family in ICE custody or whatever, awaiting deportation. I guess I'm not saying it's illegal, but it's totally parasitic. It's grotesque. All of this like bail bonds and stuff is, frankly, and usury rates, and it's just for the scum of the earth. But anyway, that's where this guy comes from. Now you know why the FBI couldn't catch him. They didn't want to. He was another violent left-wing loon. Whew, baby. Oh man. Now you know. Now we know. They found him. They saw exactly who he was. They saw that he was of the left, that he sued Donald Trump, that he was a black nationalist activist, that he was the opposite. He was a young black man. He would have been 25 at the time that these pipe bombs were planted. They have him dead to rights. Look at all this evidence they have against him. They have the full construction of the pipe bomb. Here are the documents, by the way. Here are the affidavits you can see here. Look at that. There's the cell phone. We always said it would be the cell phone tracking. That's why they said the cell phone data was corrupted, even though the cell phone company said it wasn't. Kash Patel saying that you're going to have a crystal clear timeline in the next 24 hours, fully detailing the pipe bomber's actions and movements that day. He said this on Don Jr.'s show. Here we go.
So, there's been some, uncertainty, certainly online. So I don't know what's real and what's not. Sometimes it's a little hard to follow. But on when these devices were actually planted, does this arrest crystallize the timeline at all in terms of, the sequence of events that's sort of been, up in the air again, especially online?
It absolutely does. And I don't want to get ahead of the Department of Justice, but you're going to see a crystal clear timeline and picture in the next 24 hours when this individual makes his presentment and first appearance in court, and we proceed with the paperwork to his arraignment. That's where key pieces of information are going to be made public for the first time, because that's where key pieces of information legally must be made public for the first time. And we're not going to disrupt that process, because that would hurt the integrity of the investigation. And most importantly, it would hurt the integrity of the prosecution that's upcoming.
And Kash Patel saying that you're going to have a day in court, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be able to see where we're able to connect all of the video evidence and make this case. Journalists will be able to look at it and say, why didn't these people do this 4 or 5 years ago? That is the question. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.